Across British Columbia, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Ontario, hundreds of wildfires are burning right now, and Canada has just crossed a grim threshold. More than 3 million hectares burned this season, already well above the 10-year average. This is shaping up to be one of the most serious fire seasons this country has seen in years. So let's get right into it, province by province, fire by fire. I'll tell you exactly what's burning, where it's heading, and what it means for you tonight and through the week ahead. British Columbia, from 20 fires to over 100 in a week. Let's start on the west coast. BC is now dealing with more than 100 active wildfires. 1 week ago, that number was around 20. The jump happened almost overnight, after a wave of thunderstorms rolled across the province and dropped nearly 34,000 lightning strikes in just a few days. The fire to watch closely is Matthew Creek, burning west of Kimberley in the East Kootenay region near the Alberta border. It was only discovered this past Saturday. By Sunday evening, it had already grown to 567 hectares. The entire city of Kimberley, more than 8,000 people, is now under an evacuation alert. Bags packed, route known, ready to go the moment the order comes down. Mayor Don McCormick didn't sugarcoat it. The fate of the town depends on the wind. The terrain is steep and mountainous, too dangerous for crews to access on foot. 3 helicopters are working the fire while heavy equipment builds containment lines, and if that line doesn't hold, one senior fire officer has called the backup plan exactly what it is: a last-ditch effort. 2 more fires near Tower Creek, just southwest of Kimberley, have triggered evacuation alerts for another 66 properties. Over in the Fraser Canyon, the Brunswick Creek fire near Boston Bar has shut down a stretch of Highway 1, the Trans-Canada between Boston Bar Station Road and Anderson Road North. Anyone traveling between the interior and the lower mainland needs to check Drive BC before heading out. Nearby, the Anderson Creek fire has ballooned past 17,000 hectares. Since July 8th, the total area burning in BC has grown 5-fold. For Metro Vancouver and the South Coast, you're not in the flames, but you're about to feel this in your lungs. A high-pressure system over the interior is funneling wildfire smoke straight down the Fraser Valley toward the coast. Environment Canada has air quality warnings in effect for the Fraser Canyon and Caribou region, and that smoke is expected to reach the South Coast as early as today and into tomorrow. Keep windows and doors closed, especially if you have a heart or lung condition, young kids at home, or you're over 65. Saskatchewan, lightning on a landscape primed to burn. Moving east, Saskatchewan has 46 active wildfires, 8 of them not under control. And nearly every one of them traces back to the same cause: lightning. Here's the setup. A brutal winter of heavy snowfall and flooding killed off huge amounts of vegetation across the province. That dead plant matter dried out through June and is now acting like kindling scattered across the forest floor. The province's largest fire, designated SK26 near Flin Flon, close to the Manitoba border, now sits at 17,500 hectares. As recently as July 15th, it was 15,000 hectares, meaning it's grown by more than 2,000 hectares in just 6 days. The second and third largest are the Bud Fire at 12,000 hectares and SEIR-01 near LaRange at 10,000 hectares, both still not under control. Saskatchewan hasn't declared a province-wide state of emergency, but authorities are watching this closely. 2 First Nations communities have been affected, and 1 has already had to evacuate. Manitoba, where this gets very serious. Now to Manitoba, and this is where the numbers get harder to look away from. Fire MB-27 has been burning since June 2nd. 48 straight days, and now covers 18,000 hectares, just 8 kilometers from the town of Grand Rapids and Mississippiwistic Cree Nation. Fire MB28, burning since June 24th, has grown to nearly 19,500 hectares. Earlier this season, it was directly threatening the Wusquatum Generating Station, a piece of critical power infrastructure for northern Manitoba. Fire MB192, discovered July 14th, has already passed 1,000 hectares and is in full response red zone status. Fire MB202 is only 34 hectares, but it's already red zone 2, meaning every available resource is being thrown at it immediately. The Canadian Armed Forces are supporting evacuation flights for communities including Pimicikamak Cree Nation and Cross Lake. The town of Lynn Lake, roughly 600 people, was fully evacuated by air back in late June. Across the country, more than 3,500 people from First Nations communities are currently displaced by this fire season. Ontario, a scale that's genuinely hard to comprehend. And now Ontario, pay close attention here, because what's happening in the Northwest is on a scale most fire seasons never come close to. 183 active fires, 52 not under control. Ontario has already logged 562 wildfires this season, 57% above the 10-year average. 318,812 hectares. That's Thunder Bay 36, the THU-036 complex burning in and around Wabakimi Provincial Park, formed when several separate fires merged into one massive system. It has swallowed parts of the park itself, along with the areas around Armstrong, Collins First Nation, and White Sand First Nation. On its own, this single fire has burned more land than all of Ontario's wildfires combined in an average year. An evacuation order is in effect for areas near Armstrong, north and east of Lake Nipigon, and the Ministry of Natural Resources has locked down dozens of roads, waterways, and crown lands across the Thunder Bay Ignis district. No access without a permit. Then there's the Atikokan cluster, 3 fires burning near Fort Frances in the Rainy River district. Fort Frances, 51,800 hectares, not under control, evacuation order in effect since July 17th. If you're near Lac LaCroix or Windigustiguan Lake, you need to leave now unless you hold a travel permit. Fort Frances, 41,800 hectares, also not under control, though there's been no significant growth toward major travel corridors in the last 24 hours. Fort Frances 38, now under control at 44 hectares. A genuine win. Nearby, Sioux Lookout 72, near Cat Lake First Nation, sits at 23,000 hectares and remains not under control, though crews are making progress with helicopter bucketing. There's even a cross-border angle. An evacuation alert has been issued near Fort Frances 39 and Minnesota's so-called Thumb Fire just across the line. Thunder Bay itself isn't at risk of evacuation, but it's playing a critical role as a reception hub. Fort William Gardens Arena at 901 Miles Street East is open as an evacuation center with sleeping accommodations, food, water, pet space, hygiene kits, and medical support. A restricted fire zone now covers virtually the entire northwest region of Ontario, effective July 15th. No campfires, no open-air burning of any kind, all burning permits suspended until further notice. If you're thinking about a backcountry trip in northern Ontario, don't. Stay out until this is over. Where this goes from here? Short answer, it's not getting better soon. Environment and Climate Change Canada is forecasting above-average temperatures across most of the country through July and into August. The highest ongoing risk sits with northern Manitoba, northwestern Ontario, the Northwest Territories, and Nunavut. Wildfire smoke will remain a significant issue across most of southern and central Canada in the days ahead, and Vancouver and the South Coast should expect deteriorating air quality starting today and continuing through the week. In Ontario, the concern is simple. If temperatures climb, humidity drops, or winds pick up, fires currently being held could explode in growth almost overnight. Favorable weather let crews make real progress over the weekend, but one hot, dry, windy day can undo days of hard-won gains. More than 770 firefighters are deployed in BC alone, and crews from Alberta are now supporting Ontario's Atikokan cluster. Make no mistake, the coming weeks could be the most challenging stretch of this fire season yet. This is a developing situation across 4 provinces, and I'll be updating you every single day as long as it continues. If you found this breakdown useful, like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss an update. This fire season is moving fast. If you're in an evacuation zone, listen to your local authorities, and respect every order and road closure. Check Emergency Info BC, ontario.ca-fire updates, or your provincial emergency management site for the latest, and head to weather.gc.ca for air quality in your area. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe out there.